Hey guys, Raj Sangha of Cardio Security. Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode will be another episode of Raj's Garage, and it'll be about my E36 M3 Coupe. Now I've had this car best part of 6 months, done virtually no miles in the car. Worried about security because it didn't have an alarm. I was waiting for actually a slot in our workshop. I'll give you an update on the security shortly. And also there's some paint blemishes. Again, I was waiting for a slot with dips at custom cars, managed to get that slot, and I'll update you on that as well shortly. Now, sit back and hopefully you'll enjoy this episode. Okay, let's start with the paint. Now, if you've not seen the reveal episode, I did mention in there that the front bumper was pretty badly blistered. The previous owner had used a jet wash and taken a layer of paint off. And obviously, me being me with my paint OCD, wasn't happy with that. We use Dips at Customs Cars for all our sort of smaller jobs. He's very local to us, he's in Ivor. Trying to get a booking with Dips was proving to be very difficult. The guy was so busy and his unit was just full of cars. So what we decided to do was actually leave the car here, get Dips to come over here, remove the bumper, remove the nose cone. It's Cosmos black, so it's fairly easy to match. He did take off, I think he took off the wing mirror and the petrol cap just to get an idea of color match. Took those parts away, painted the bumper, painted the nose cone, came back here and refitted it. And I've got to say, he's done a fantastic job. So now I'm a lot happier. The front marries the rest of the car. The car still does need a good polish and a detail. We'll get that done at some point. But now there are no more chips or blemishes on the front bumper, and the nose cone looks fantastic as well. Gotta say, Dips, what a dude. Done a fantastic job as always, and you did it fairly quickly. So appreciate fitting me in and getting it done. Right, security. Now these cars, and like many of the 80s and 90s cars, highly desirable, worth a lot of money nowadays. I mean, an E36 M3, a good one, low miles, 25,000, 30,000 pounds, that's what they're fetching now. So, need to secure it. Now, this actually came with an auto watch alarm, which did two things. Lock the car and unlock the car. That was it. There was no immobilizer there, so you could actually steal the car if you knew what you're doing. So, that auto watch alarm has now been ripped out. In fact, it's here. Gone. Key fob, gone. And what have we done? We have replaced it with potentially the best aftermarket alarm available for these 80s, 90s and noughties cars, the Clifford Concept 650. Now, if you guys are old enough and you had these cars and Escort cars, and these type of cars back in the 90s, you would have been buying Cliffords. Concept 600 back then. It's been updated now. We're at the Concept 650 Mark III. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the technical side of this alarm and what comes in the box, but you've got loads of black wires, so it can only be installed by a trained electrician, a technician. It's not a DIY job. Key fobs, you've got siren, it's got battery backup. This is also Thatcher approved, so potentially you could get insurance discounts. This alarm has already been featured on an episode on the channel. We'll throw a link up. If you want to know more about this particular alarm, watch that episode. It is actually pretty cool. It gives you an insight into what this alarm can do. So we have now fitted a Clifford Concept 650. So features of the 650 in brief: 2 immobilizer cuts. I'm not going to obviously tell you what cuts have been done. Central locking, so that's door closure and door opening, and also total closure on the windows. So if you press the lock button, not only will the car lock, if you keep the button pressed, the windows will close as well. That's a sort of standard feature on many new cars, but obviously on classics, that was never a feature. So press the button, locked, keep it pressed. I now have security on the car, bit of peace of mind. I can drive it and I can enjoy it. So paint's been done, security's been done. Next thing, wheels. Let's talk wheels. Now, these sunflowers, that's what they're called. They look like sunflowers. Iconic BMW design, probably one of the best M performance wheels that BMW have manufactured. OEM. Now, as much as I love OEM and OEM Plus, that is not what we are about. My Clio V6, I've had that 2 minutes and I'm already thinking of how to modify it. So that's not going to stay OEM. Look at my 993 Turbo. That's not OEM. And guess what, guys? This is not going to stay OEM. So in keeping with the AC Schnitzer theme, AC? Yes. The exhaust that came on the car is an AC Schnitzer. I have managed to bag myself a set of AC Schnitzer wheels. Right, wheels, actually I lied. They're not wheels. These are 18-inch AC Schnitzer Type 2 faces. So I've got all 4 faces. Now, trying to get a set of these wheels, very, very, very difficult. People are commanding 4 grand, 5 grand for a set of wheels, finished with new lips and barrels. The problem is I need to do some calculations because I don't know what will actually fit my car with the suspension setup that I'm going to use. I'll go into that shortly. So we've managed to bag ourselves 4 faces. We're going to speak to our friend Jazz at SSR Hardware and get him to supply the lips and the barrels. Now, before we can tell him the sizes of the lips and the barrels, we need to remove these wheels and calculate the sizes. So we're going to take the car over to the workshop and possibly Sam is going to get involved, take the wheels off and work out what we need so we can then measure accordingly. We'll document the wheels separately, so they're going to have to get built up and so on. I think we'll do a road trip up to see Jazz, show you his unit. We'll talk about lips and barrels and then he can go through the whole process of what's required and we'll put that as a separate episode on the channel. So I think now we need to get over to our workshop and get Sam to take the sunflowers off and do his calculations. Right, let's get over to the workshop. Right, I'm here with Sam, famous Sam, here he is. He's famous because he's got an absolutely amazing E36, so he knows all about these E36s, don't you, Sam? So Sam's gonna do all the calculations. I'm gonna leave the car in the hands of a professional. Yeah, professional, and let him do all the bits and pieces that he needs to do. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, one thing that will affect the size of the wheels, that's the lips and the barrels, is the suspension setup. Now, am I going coilover or am I going airlift suspension? Well, I think my airlift suspension kit is somewhere in there, or there. So if Palm's managed to pull his finger out, my kit is here. So yes, guys, we are going airlift performance suspension on my E36 M3 Evo. So next stage is, okay, wheels, obviously they'll get built up. The next episode we will cover audio. So I'm going to do a sympathetic audio upgrade. Change the stereo, change the stock speakers, add a 12-inch subwoofer, and probably a 5-channel amplifier. We're going to use JBL products throughout this, so it's competitively priced. You know, there's a lot of guys out there with E36s. We want to show you what can be done with a reasonably priced setup. So yeah, next will be audio, and then obviously we'll do the airlift performance suspension, and hopefully by then the wheels are done. So we'll put the wheels on, put the air on, and the car is more or less finished. After that, we have to detail it, and then it's ready to hit car and coffee meets. So yeah, Car Security car and coffee meets will start potentially end of February, maybe early March, and obviously the show season will start, and this car will be taken to shows up and down the country. So guys, as always, any questions you have, any comments you have, just drop them down below. Am I doing something wrong here? Am I doing something right? Do you like it? Then obviously hit the like button, share and subscribe. That's obviously very important. And I'll see you again for another episode of Raj's Garage.